Something shifts in many women as they cross into their 40s. Something few people have the courage to discuss honestly. One day she's running the home, planning family trips, packing lunches, managing life like clockwork. The next, she's restless, downloading dating apps, buying new clothes, joining the gym again, and you're left wondering what just happened to the woman you thought you knew. This isn't a fluke. It's happening all over the world in stable homes, with loyal wives, devoted mothers, and long, seemingly happy marriages. It feels sudden, but it isn't. It's the culmination of decades of unspoken tension between biology, psychology, and the way our culture defines a woman's worth. Most men never see it coming. They assume time equals stability, that shared years protect against emotional earthquakes. But what they don't realize is that, for many women, between 35 and 45, something inside begins to unravel. Not from malice, but from the collision of biology, identity, and social conditioning. The identity collapse. From an early age, women are taught, subtly, relentlessly, that their value lies in being desirable. Compliments, attention, and admiration become a kind of currency. And for 2 decades, that currency flows freely. Then, somewhere around 40, biology intervenes. The reflection in the mirror begins to change. The attention that once came effortlessly begins to fade. And with it, the external validation that quietly held up her sense of self. This isn't vanity, it's existential confusion. Who is she, if not the woman who turns heads? If her worth was tied to beauty, what remains when that beauty evolves? Imagine a professional athlete realizing his body can't perform as it once did. That identity crisis, multiplied by emotion, hormones, and social pressure, is what many women face at midlife. The hunger for validation. When a 22-year-old woman receives a compliment, it barely registers. She's used to it. But at 42, that same compliment can light up her entire nervous system. It's not just flattery. It's proof she still matters. That she hasn't become invisible. And that one spark can become addictive. Suddenly, attention from a stranger feels more real than devotion from a husband, because his affection is expected. The stranger's is earned. That's where danger begins. Not because she's evil or shallow, but because she's starving for a feeling she doesn't know how to generate internally anymore. The feeling of being seen. The cultural betrayal society doesn't help her through this. It accelerates the crisis. She's told to find herself, live her truth, and never settle. Every magazine headline, every social media reel, every self-help slogan whispers the same message. You deserve more. But what it really means is you deserve to feel 20 again. And that's impossible no matter how many filters, fillers, or flings she tries. What she's fighting isn't her husband. It's time. And time always wins. The emotional drift. It starts subtly. She grows nostalgic, talks more about her youth, her past, the girl she used to be. She reconnects with old friends, often the divorced ones who found themselves after leaving their marriages. She spends hours scrolling social media, comparing her reality to everyone else's curated fantasy. Soon, her stable marriage starts to feel like a cage, not because it's broken, but because it's familiar. Familiar feels invisible. Predictable feels dead. And when novelty becomes the only measure of meaning, routine love can't compete. The psychology behind the panic. As women age, their hormonal balance shifts, altering dopamine and serotonin sensitivity. The very chemicals that regulate desire, pleasure, and motivation. What once felt thrilling at 25 barely registers at 45. This isn't about morals. It's about neurochemistry. She literally needs stronger emotional stimuli to feel the same spark. And her husband, consistent, loyal, predictable, can't provide that jolt. Not because he's failed, but because he's familiar. The aftermath. When the midlife panic reaches its peak, some women act on impulse chasing passion, validation, or excitement, often at catastrophic cost, and society applauds her for it. She's brave, they say. She's starting over. But they never show the quiet aftermath. The broken families, the children confused and heartbroken, the woman herself, months later, realizing she traded something profound for something fleeting. Because the truth is, what she's really chasing isn't another man. It's a younger version of herself, the one she can never get back. The gender divide men age differently in society's eyes. A man at 45 is often seen as entering his prime, means stable, capable, desirable. A woman at 45 is told she's past hers. That contrast creates two completely different psychological realities. He faces aging with pride. She faces it with fear. That fear drives many of the choices that look reckless from the outside but are, at their core, desperate attempts to feel alive again. The harsh truth and the hope. The woman you married at 25 doesn't exist at 45 just as you aren't the same man. But some women, the wise ones, evolve instead of implode. They understand that beauty fades, but depth grows. They learn to build meaning beyond appearance. They transition from being admired to being respected, from being desired to being valued. Those women are rare, but they're the ones who hold marriages together through the storms of time. So if you see the signs, the nostalgia, the distance, the restless glow of fading youth, don't just panic. Understand it. You can't compete with time, but you can build something. Time can't destroy connection, gratitude, and meaning. Because when the rush fades and the noise dies down, every woman, no matter how far she runs, eventually realizes that love built over decades is the only kind that survives age